Now to the story of that deadly snake in New Brunswick. It was illegal, and it turns out there were more than 24 other illegal exotic animals in the same building. Today they were removed. Many were euthanized. It was no secret the animals were there, but now the authorities are all passing the buck over who should have seized them long before the two brothers were killed. Christina Stevens has the story.
These are just 2 of 27 illegal animals removed from Reptile Ocean.
We've been called into very similar situations, nothing of this magnitude.
Among the animals, 4 large American alligators whose bodies were brought out after they were euthanized. Their size, the biggest, about 10 feet long and 300 pounds, meant they were impossible to place anywhere in the country.
We don't want to put them in a situation where they cannot be accommodated, and that's what's happened to cause this tragedy here.
This undated photo shows one of them inside the shop. The owner, Jean-Claude Savoie, to the left.
I don't even want to go in that building no more.
His friend and former employee, Tim Thomas, says things just keep getting worse for him.
He's still grieving over the loss of the 2 children. He's grieving from Andy, and he knows that his life pretty much is finished. And he's got no more home, he's got no more animals. But now to find out that they killed his 4 gators.
It's been 4 days since Connor and Noah Barth were killed by an African rock python, seen here held by an employee in 2002 after it was handed over by Environment Canada. There are still questions about how such a large collection of illegal animals went unnoticed. The SPCA was here in 2011 responding to a complaint about a tortoise. They found it was in good health and say they had no reason to inspect the rest of the premises. That's because they believed it was a licensed zoo. New Brunswick's Department of Natural Resources won't confirm whether the license was still valid at the time. One of the experts on scene says there is a way to prevent such a situation from happening again.
Legislation. Canada throughout our country, you know, there's varying degrees of effectiveness in our provincial legislation.
We are going to, obviously, at our level as well, try and ascertain exactly what has occurred and if there is or is not any federal role, what needs to be done about that.
Meanwhile, the boy's family has been left preparing for a funeral. Their dad speaking out on Facebook saying, "I love my boys, I always have, and I always will." He says the days ahead will be excruciating. Christina Stevens, Global News, Campbellton, New Brunswick.